Welcome to the Global Game Jam, hosted by Mount Sierra College. This event is open to students interested in game development. The participants have the opportunity to work in a team environment that makes use of their combined talents in order to create a video game. The teams are comprised of audio programmers, 3D modelers, compositors, and countless others. The competition encourages students from distinct disciplinary backgrounds to participate and contribute to this dissemination of game development and creativity, which is hosted internationally during its 48-hour development cycle.
We're working on a puzzle game for Windows and Mac, and we're using Unity to build it. Basically, the idea is you play this robot that kind of walks around like a crab or like a spider, and this robot has a crystal in it that it feels more sentient, it's self-aware, and so it sees the other robots in this factory and it kind of feels sorry for them. They're limited by their programming, they can only do these menial tasks. So it's trying to get to the heart of this robot factory to change the way these robots are made. And so the mechanic to get through this factory, there's different gates set up, and there's a laser cannon somewhere on the walls of this maze. And so your robot has to pick up mirrors and then place them in a set path to bend this laser around the walls and hit a light sensor that will let the gates come down so you can progress further and further into the factory until you get to the core. The theme for Global Game Jam was about seeing things the way we are rather than the way they are. And one of the first ideas to pop out was mirrors. So I kind of wanted to do something with mirrors or reflections, something like that. And I started thinking of this idea of like laser vision, and then talking with the team about what we could build. It just kind of coalesced organically into this idea of bouncing lasers off of mirrors. And I guess the closest thing in existence that I could draw inspiration from, there's a game sort of like chess where you're playing against your opponent, placing mirrors on the board, and the whole goal is to like shoot a laser beam from your side and bounce it around to hit their base and blow it up.
So then, for the most part, though, these are the only things we need to do left. The surgeon's table, the desk, the office chair,
right now,
and the seat.
right?
No, the desk is.
Iggy's doing the.
Iggy's already working on it. The desk.
My name is Dominic Miranda. What we are working on as a group today is the game called Deceive. It's a video game that we've based off of the theme, and the theme that we derived, the message from the theme that we derived was liars. And from liars, we came up with the concept of a patient waking up from a coma. And in the coma, he's living out the psychological thriller that, he's going throughout a hospital and finding the answers to what happened all along. And, as you go along, you find clues that lead you to the end of the game. And there's going to be two different endings, which is whether you wake up from the coma or you don't, depending on the clues that you find. The inspiration behind this game was based off the theme, which is we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. As a group, we collaborated and came up with several ideas as to what that meant to us, and the strongest one that we felt was the theme liars. Liars are things that you don't perceive, they're always putting up a facade and you never really get to see past that. So that really was the driving inspiration behind this, It was something instantly that we knew was going to be the passion and the theme behind the game, because the second we heard the topic come up, we all instantly felt it. We all knew that this was what the game was going to be about. We have several different roles throughout this team. There's 10 of us strong. We have me, which is the lead. I've been, facilitating and pushing the project along as it goes. We have our programmers. We have about 2 really great programmers that have been programming since day one. They've been really pushing the boundaries on this, getting everything ready with placeholders, all ready to go for when, all the models and stuff are done, which leads on to the modelers. We have several different modelers. Usually everybody in our group is really good at modeling. We have several different people. I want to say roughly 8 of us can model. And we all have our own little attributes and skill sets, as well as textures. We have our textures in the game, and we have people that have been doing the UV maps. So we all bring something a little interesting to the table. We have audio people that have been working in the sound room, and all together, we're making the game that we wanted to.
I'm Stuart Belly-Newsom. I'm the team leader. Right now I'm also doing programming, level design, putting all the assets together. I'm also doing the lighting, particle effects, post-processing, shader effects, pretty much tying all the assets being created by a whole team and trying to make a cohesive world. We're working on a project called Object Personality. It's an adventure puzzle first-person game. There's no shooting, no violence. The idea behind it is the world you see around you isn't always what it seems. It's really your own perception of the world that makes it what it is. And so our idea behind it is where we put on masks that show a world that we've never seen before. And by looking through those masks, you get the return to the original world, and your perception of the real world changes. Right now, I would say second in command is Oscar Lopez. We have a little nickname for him, which I'm not gonna say, but it represents his purpose here. Technically, I call him the technical director. I want to say he's the one that does all the dirty work, in my opinion. But I would say the most important aspects, he does the conversion of numbers to, try to convert the units from a 3D program to the game engine, which is, I would say, helped me a lot in the long run for levels. Besides Oscar Lopez is Adrian Alanis, and he's the one that's leading the environmental artist team. He's doing the floor plans for the environment and coordinating with Derek, with the rest of the asset artists, to create the props and just the world that we want to show the players.
The Global Game Jam invites its participants to explore new technological tools. It challenges them to take on the roles of video game directors, developers, and testers. The Jam assists its participants in fostering new networks, which ultimately serve to increase their confidence and professional opportunities within the video game development community. The ultimate goal of the event is to prepare these young developers for their future careers.